Joining me now is Newsmax foreign policy analyst Walid Phares. Also with us, CEO and Jerusalem bureau chief of the Jewish News Syndicate, Alex Traiman. Thank you both so much for joining us. Alex, Politico confirming that they were the first to receive these sensitive campaign documents regarding the Trump campaign from an anonymous email under the name of Robert. If Iran is behind this, why would Iran want Harris and Biden to be elected and Trump not to win?
Well, that's obvious because Harris administration, just like a Biden administration, just like an Obama administration before that, flooded Iran with tons of capital, removed sanctions, allowed it the resources that are needed to pursue nuclear weapons and to fund terror organizations all across the Middle East and attack Israel, while the Trump administration put tough sanctions on Iran, making sure that they wouldn't have the capital that they needed to destabilize the entire region.
You know, Walid, this comes after we learned that on July 12th, the day before Trump was almost assassinated in front of millions to see, a Pakistani national with ties to Iran was also attempting to kill President Trump, among other prominent U.S. leaders. Do you think all of this could be connected?
Absolutely. You and I discussed it weeks ago, if not months ago. The regime, the Islamic regime in Iran, is dead set on eliminating any obstruction to the Iran deal. Why? The Iran deal is about $150 billion. President Trump in 2017, 18 rather, he stopped that deal. That already explained at the time why there was a huge operation to stop him, not to be reelected. This is all part of the one attempt by that regime to make sure that their interests are guarded. So what is different between now and 2016 is the fact that we see violence. We haven't seen this. There were campaigns against his advisors. I was one of them. I was targeted. Everybody else was targeted by, in fact, a propaganda machine that the regime has. But now it's about elimination. That's very dangerous.
You know, Alex, Iran is the head of the snake. We know this. It wants to destroy the United States. It wants to destroy little Satan, Israel. Here's what FBI Director Paul Abate recently told Congress. Take a look.
The terrorist regime of Iran have been targeting people, our country, for many, many years now. We've talked about that here before. I want to be clear about that. From the FBI standpoint, we know publicly they've targeted former President Trump. They've called for his assassination.
So, Alex, how serious are these threats? And do you believe Iran has assets currently in the United States plotting to carry out attacks?
Well, there's good reason to believe that they do have assets in the United States. They've been operating through their terror proxy Hezbollah in South America for decades. And the open border along the south allows for terrorists and others to come through completely undocumented. There's been cases where Iranian agents have been found inside the United States. But as you can see, they use every element at their disposal to cause maximum destabilization against the United States and against their allies in the Middle East and wherever they can find them.
You know, Walid, the Biden-Harris regime enriched the coffers of Iran by cutting our own oil supply, right, declaring war on the fossil fuel industry, and then therefore having to buy their oil at significantly higher prices. Trump's solution to keeping Iran in check? Bankrupt them. Take a listen.
And the war caused by the attack on Israel, which would have never happened if I was president. Iran was broke. Iran had no money. Now Iran has $250 billion. They made it all over the last 2.5 years. They were broke. And now Iran is very close to having a nuclear weapon, which would have never happened. This is a shame what this administration, the damage that this administration has done.
So, Walid, is Trump's strategy the best way to go to keep Iran under control?
There is no other option. It's not even a strategy. It's a reaction by the American people, and he represents the opposition today. He basically is now the last obstacle before the Islamic regime in Iran, the Islamic regime in Afghanistan, and other. And you were asking about what asset can they use? They could use anything they want. I mean, look, we have thousands and thousands of people who have been manipulated mentally to support Hamas in the United States. Forget about individuals coming through Rio Grande. My concern is they may try to organize or may try to recruit people that they have brainwashed inside this country.
Walid Phares, Alex Traiman, we have to leave it right there. Thank you both so much for joining us.
Thanks
Thank
for having
you.
me.